Well, hello. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's do a baby chat. Well, hello, Charlene. I want to do a baby chat for Beauty so that we can give her tips on motherhood. So if you guys have anything you want to talk about, um, I'm sending her a baby package soon. I'm not going to tell her everything that's in it because I want her to be surprised. But one of the items I did explain to her is a flat sheet. Well, hello, Sharon. Welcome back. It's a flat sheet baby. They're called baby diapers, but I told her not to use them as diapers, to use them as burp rags or burp cloths because they help. That was one of the tips I had. Um, I don't know. Can anybody think of any other tips they want to share? I have 2 daughters that are grown on their own. Whatever you guys say in chat, I could repeat to her too, so when she sees the live, she can see it. I'm surprised that when people comment on lives that they don't stay in the comment section when you post it. I wish it did. The other, there you go. There she is. Okay, when the baby gets an upset tummy, give it a warm peppermint water. That's a good one. I didn't know about that. That's pretty cool, Charlene. Another, well, hello, Jamie. Yeah, that is, Jod. I'm going to learn something too. Now, when we had our kids and we were younger, we used to heat the bottles. My mom still swears by that. She'll put it in a microwave enough to take the chill off and not give it room temperature because you have to store them in the fridge. But they do. Well, hello, Cheryl. So, I believe in heating up the milk some too because I think it's relaxing to the baby, but a lot of doctors say that it causes gas, so I don't know, but I always did. I would take the lid off and heat them up. Another thing I wanted to tell you, oh, I know what it was, baby bottles. Okay, now this is my experience on baby bottles. I didn't use the glass ones because I was always afraid they would shatter. I had got the Playtex ones, but there's 2 bad things I didn't like about Playtex. First, the round part with the nipple, when my daughter would suck on the bottle, the nipple suffocated her nose. So, because it was too close, they didn't make the nipple long enough. Well, my daughter was going to breastfeed too, but she dried up and couldn't. So you have that too. Hopefully you can, but then my other daughter tried to, but it's painful. It's very painful to breastfeed. If you can stand the pain, you'll be okay. But well, hi, Living. Nook bottle tips are nice, but the only thing about them is they're kind of slim. So if the baby sucks too hard, it kind of sucks off the milk circulation to get them. But they do have these new bottles that they say they sell them at Walmart, and they say that they're the closest possible to, that if you would go to formula, that is, they stick up a lot higher, and they're supposed to be really close to the mom's breast. So my daughter was checking into those ones when we were in Walmart the other day. I forget what they're called though. So another thing I didn't like about Playtex too is when you would push the bags up to push the air out, the bags would bust underneath the bottle. I can't tell you how many times that happened to me. When I would go to feed my second one, I would push the air out and the bag would just bust and all the milk would be in my hand. I'm like, ah. Oh. So you have to start all over filling. And it's, I think Playtex were a pain. I particularly like the Nooks because they didn't have these newer bottles out, but I had bought Dr. Brandt for one of my daughters, and she didn't care for it at all, where my other one loved it. But tips, we're going to help her with tips on her baby. Another thing, my oldest would get stomach ache sometimes, and I would lay her bare belly across my bare belly, and it seemed to soothe her. That was another thing that was good. Sometimes, I know they give out A&D ointment and they give out Desitin and stuff. I didn't have any issues with my daughters, excuse me, till I used Huggies. For some reason, Huggies changed. When my second one was born, it almost like they hold in too much heat and they cause diaper rashes. So, what I would do... Welcome back! What I would do is Bag Balm. If you guys, any of you guys ever heard of Bag Balm? Bag Balm is so amazing. That stuff was designed to help cows with chapped teats from being milked. And I know when my dog had her puppies, they scratched her, and we put Bag Balm on her, and it was amazing. That stuff is amazing. When my husband was in a gasoline fire, which is another story, I had to wrap his arms in Bag Balm. So it's okay too. Like, there's no ingredients in it that's harmful to kids. It's amazing. I like Bag Balms. I like Pampers too. Now, Loves are a good diaper. They were good too back in the day, and they were cheaper than Pampers. But for some reason, they have a smell to them now. Like, they changed something. And they got like a weird odor to them. But baby wipes. Okay, what are your... I like Parents' Choice. I never tried the Pampers on my kids. I don't think they had baby wipes back then. Parents' Choice, they didn't either. But I like the Parents' Choice with my grandkids. I don't think I ever tried the Pampers ones when my kids were... Of course, my kids are 27 and 30. I mean, 30-something. So, you know, it's been a while. But I do like the Parents' Choice. I remember Pampers was my favorite. Loves was my favorite. And somebody bought me these generic diapers, and they were awful because every time you would open them, the Pampers would rip in half. It was terrible. Oh, you're welcome. I had a bottle warmer. I don't think they make these anymore. I had this bottle warmer that you would... It came from Sears back in the day, and you filled up the bottom of it with water. And I remember it held 8 bottles, and you flipped the rubber part upside down into the bottle, and you screwed it on. And it actually sanitized the whole bottle from the inside out all at once. Where you didn't have to do this. I don't even know if they sanitize anymore. Well, you take care. I don't know why my messages won't show. Bye, Sharon. See, that's what I thought too. I like Loves too, but they changed something in them where they got like this odor to them. I don't know. So my daughter said they smell funny. I said, well, if they still work though. Well, my daughter's, it was a long time ago. I think I even tried. I couldn't handle doing regular. I think we ran out of diapers one time, and the only ones I had in the house was the padded ones that you know, the cloth. Oh, it was a nightmare. I had like plastic pants to go over them, but it was such a pain. It's not so bad when they pee, but when they poop, it's like taking a hose and I don't know how our grandparents did it. But the flat baby wipes, I don't know. I like Loves too. The flat baby diapers, cloth baby diapers are amazing for burp rags. That's all I have to say. They save so much because I know a lot of moms, what they would do is throw receiving blankets up over their shoulders to burp their babies, and the baby would puke a little bit, and they're like, because you got that soured smell. So I bought the cloth diapers for my kids, and they loved it because it doesn't matter if they get stained. Because some people, they want to keep their receiving blankets. I think they put a lot of baby stuff out there that people don't need right away. Like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of stuff where people go overboard with products that they don't need for their first child. I would go with the basic necessities first. Like, it's okay if they buy you Desitin, but honestly, if your kid doesn't have a rash, you'll never use it. Well, that's neat. Oh, I wouldn't. That'd be terrible, Charlene. I know. My mom had a wringer washer. Oh, we had one here for the longest time that I gave to my daughter. I cannot remember for the life of me. I just remember that it came in a blue box. And my daughter actually had a little bit of a better set. This was just a voice one. But my daughter had one that somebody got her. I'll have to ask her the name of it and let you know on Instagram. Because she could see in their room. It was a little monitor where it had a picture and she could see her kids and what they were doing. I don't know what it's called though. Charlene, that's terrible. I was trying to think of what else you could do. Oh yeah. Is it in black and white or is it in color show? I think the one my daughter has in black and white, but they improve stuff so much. I love that they have the 3D baby ultrasound pictures now too. It was so amazing when she had the 3D done to the twins. You could actually see them. We didn't have 3Ds. We weren't that special when we were younger. Oh, well, that's cool. So there you go. I can't think what else. Oh. This is another story that I think is funny. They changed, Jessica, they changed baby mobiles. The mobiles that you put on their cribs. This is so funny. I remember with my oldest, I went to the store to get her a baby mobile, and they were completely out. It was like a baby store was selling out, and all they had was cars that played King of the Road. Blue, orange, red, yellow cars hanging off us. And I bought it. So that's what hers was King of the Roads and Cars. And my youngest, I had bears, but you saw some, I can't remember what show they said this on. They were like, my baby had a mobile, but they stared at bears' butts all day. Because back then, they didn't have them tilted. Hey, Johns. Where now they tilt it to your, because I mean, when you think about it, your baby's laying down. They can't see the faces. So they started tilting all the mobiles, which I think is really cute because it makes sense. And don't use the word subscribe in here, Johns, please. We don't use that word anymore because you'll lose subscribers. It's a new YouTube rule. You have to use a different word. And usually we talk to people and then we'll ask them if they want to add us. We don't just come in and just say it right off the bat. It's mannerly. Yeah, support. That's a good word. And it's okay. Yeah, they change things all the time. It's crazy. But support, I usually go into people's channels and I say, I added you. If they can't figure it out, I don't know what to tell them. That's my word. I say I added you. Make you like a math problem. But anyways, they started tilting all the mobiles where they could see the faces of whatever's on them. And I think my daughter had Cat in the Hat. Did you? Vlogs are interesting to watch too. I like a lot of the vacation ones. There's a couple young girls I watch, and they'll go into Disney and different places, and I love it because they show you the cheaper places to eat. Because the one girl's like, it is so high to buy drinks in this one place, but if you go over here, so I do like the vlog vacations because they teach you ways to save money. See how nice that was. Charlene, you're so sweet. I like how she put it. It even looks better. It looks so mannerly. I think. It won't let me do anything right now. For some reason on the live on my phone it won't. I like a variety of videos. I will tell you right now, I'm going to do one that I think is amazing. If you guys want to check out the videos on this channel, it's No, N-O, with a capital N-O, and just the word more, all in small case letters with a space in between. This kid is so creative. He takes tennis shoes and repaints them and redesigns them, and it is amazing. And then he started doing, introducing other channels on his, but I don't know how that's going to work because I think you're not allowed to show a person's page anymore. And he took people's pages and clipped them and turned them into videos where you'll see their page headings go through with music. It is so darling. And then on Christmas time, he put our names of our pages inside of Christmas cards as a Merry Christmas to all his, subscribers. It was just so adorable what he did. And, but I don't know. I haven't seen him do any tennis shoes lately. But, man, this kid is artistic. So, he's another one that I wanted to recommend. He's very nice. He will support you, Johns. It's No More. Capital N-O, space M-O-R-E. He supports all his channels that when people add him. You can find 6 in here easy. Hey, little Chris. Yeah, listen to you. There you go. I tried to find your channel the other night, and for some reason I couldn't find it. I ended up in Chris's world. I was like, this is not the same name. Because I've been trying to get out and support, other channels and stuff, and trying to just go, see what their content is. But I have, he paints tennis shoes. I have a do-it-yourself network. Have you guys ever heard of pocket letters? Oh, well, I'm sorry, John. That's sad. I never heard of pocket letters until I came to YouTube. Never even knew they existed. Oh. Well, why don't you make videos? I'm telling you what, Shell, they are freaking adorable. If I had some startup money to get into them, I would so start these. I might do it later. What do you mean, because you're a G? What the heck does that mean? Pocket letters are... Okay, Jacob. Are, you know the plastic sleeves that they used to save baseball cards in? You buy those as a set. You can get them off of Amazon. And also in Walmart, they say hard binders that you store them in. And what you do is you take cardstock, stickers, anything that you can find at like Joann's or, you know, any type of place like that that sells stuff, and you decorate them, and you turn them into little gifts for people. And that's what it is. And I watched 2 videos on pocket letters. Oh my God, they were so cute. All you're going to do is type in pocket letters, how to make them or something at the top of YouTube search, and it'll take you right into videos, and they are so adorable. And this one girl, hi Giggles, had a whole collection of 9 women where they shared their designs, and you can make them into anything. You could make, she had one that had yellow backing and had little cats. Black cats. Well, cat! See, I mentioned cat, and cat comes in. Looky there. and they made like these cute little pocket letters, like they do them in themes. Hazel! Oh my gosh! I know, I love you too, Cat. You're so sweet. Cat and Hazel, have you two met? She's so sweet. And you can do any theme you want. Like, you can do shells, like, say, or St. Patrick's Day, or Valentine's Day, or just do an off. See you later, Charlene. Oh, I don't pay attention to them. Jacob, really? Who's calling you an idiot, Chris? Because you're saying the world's flat. You always get trolls in. So Hazel, here's my pets. You got your reptiles. Here's my 25-year-old kitty cat. Okay, here's one of them. Look, she is 25 years, or no, not 25. She'll be 23 May 12th. They call her Vintage Kitty. She's not an armadillo. So this is my little old lady, and I have her sister in another room. And then, come here, Ron. Come here, Roni. Come here. Come say hi to Hazel. Come here, because Hazel, she's got snakes. You'd like her pets. And this is my little baby. She just turned 1 year old. December 3rd. So this is my baby. This is my Roni. Her dad's name was her dad's name was Rocky, and her mom Ebony. So I put it into a mixer on YouTube or on Google, and it came up Roni. so it's Rocky and Ebony. This is my baby. She takes up my time. My grandson and my daughter's in the other room. I was trying to get my daughter to come on, but my kids are shy. She's like, I don't want to. And they're staying here for now. She's trying to get a job in an apartment up the road, but they come to stay in our guest room. So this is my room. Eagles for my hubby. And of course my horses for me. These are my horse pictures. And then we got deer over there. This is my bedroom. You guys are in my bedroom. So I can tell my husband I had people in my bedroom. You wasn't home today. In the shower. Do you ever take one of your snakes in the shower with you? My husband first saw Hazel. She had the white snake around her neck. He goes, is she crazy? I go, no. That's her pet. He about had a heart attack when you were kissing your snake, Hayes. I said, that's her pet. He was like, that thing will kill her. He is petrified of snakes and spiders. It was comical. I go, no, she's so good with her snakes. It kills me how you are so close to them. Because you can just see the love. When she's holding her little snake up and she's just kissing his little face. I think it's cute. Hazel's beautiful. You know, your eyes. There's something about your eyes, Hayes. She reminds me of somebody that should be like back in Cleopatra Day. Do you ever get that feeling when you watch her sometimes? Because like, I don't know how they used to have like the snake symbols back in the Egyptian days. She does. She looks like somebody who should have been in the Egyptian era. It's true. You're so gorgeous, Hayes. I love watching you. And then you're just going through your house on your little wheels and you're going round and round. I don't have that in my house where I can go in a circle like that. I think that is so cool. Oh, you know what I did to my husband? I stuck one of those great big rubber ones on his pillow one year the kids had. He about had a heart attack. He came in and lifted up his blanket. He says, woman, I'm going to kill you. I was a Girl Scout, so we got to go to Kozai, and I actually got to hold a big snake around my neck. I mean, a huge snake. It was so big that it weighed so much on my neck, it was crazy. But it didn't bother me. You know, when I was a kid, I was never afraid of stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's more... if I don't know if it's poisonous or not, would probably scare me more than actually getting to know a snake. Because I was the kid that used to bring home... we had this little ledge when you walk to our basement, and I would have a bowl with those black and gold willy worm, or, you know, them reddish with black tip willy worms, and crayfish, and turtles, and frogs, and anything you could catch outside I had in a bowl. And I would keep them just a little bit, read about them in the encyclopedia, feed them and try to make a habitat, and then I would, of course, would release them, because I was always afraid I wouldn't feed them enough and I'd kill them. My husband and them found a water moccasin. He thought it was a black snake. He don't know the difference. And here it was a water moccasin he had in a bag. He had that snake so mad. And they took it to work and they used to prank each other and they used to put it in people's lockers. I'm like, you people are crazy. Roni, there's nobody there. You don't have to bark. But, a badger, they stuck a badger in one guy's locker. They were always torturing people they worked with. Trying to scare them. Who are you hearing? Just Ethan and Kristen's here. You're okay. We were talking about babies, Hayes. Jaw's gonna have a baby. Hopefully you don't have a colic one. Well, hey, Casey. I'm glad you guys get to stop. I was trying to think of, Ooh, Chris. My husband believes in aliens. I'm not so sure about, yeah, me too, Hayes. I'm telling you, it's hard to get around to everybody. I bet you I've hit 60 different people this week. I'm trying to keep up. I don't know how people in the millions do it. I've done that. I've left gamers running on my bathroom sink while I was getting a shower just to get some time in their channels. Hey, Kristen. Bring Ethan in here. Maybe she'll let me... Maybe you get to... Huh? See if he wants to be on live with me. What? You miss Ethan. She hears you. I'm going to see if my grandson will come in. And he'll sit on the live so you can see one of my grandkids anyways. Number 6 is coming next month.
Dad would crop himself, but she could take my dog.
Oh, she could.
Hi.
She misses you too.
I was just in the room with her.
There's a kitty. Look,
Here.
Ethan.
Go ahead, get up there.
What's it here? Pet the kitty. He's in his diaper. This is Ethan.
She?
Say hi.
Stuff on his face.
You go wave. There's people watching you. Come here. Come pet the kitty. What? You're gonna tell them? Say, can you say Hazel? Say Hazel. Can you say Hazel? My dog's going crazy. What? You want mommy? There she is. There's my youngest. Sit down.
I don't think this dog's gonna let me sit.
She'll let you sit.
Runny back up.
Right here, sit. Here's my daughter, so you finally get to see one of my daughters. This is Kristen.
Where are you going?
They're saying hi.
I don't want to put you down. I want to love you. You want to fly?
He's like, get mom.
Well, whatever.
Pet the kitty.
Where are you going? Well, where
My
are you
dog's
going?
loving my daughter. And say hi, show. Come on, say hi. Quit being shy.
What?
I did her makeup once.
Not today. I did it. I claim all this.
She did it today, but I did her eyes one time.
You just sat on the cat.
She don't care. She's always sitting on my poor cat. Chris wants to know if you believe the earth is flat. Alrighty, Hayes.
Do I believe the earth is flat? I don't know.
Is it flat or round? I think it's round.
Ethan, you got in your first aid kit and got a band-aid for his hand. Is your hand hurting?
He can have it.
Yeah, he dumped out the whole first aid
Hazel,
kit.
thanks for stopping.
Let's go pick up this first aid kit. You just dumped on.
He's into the band-aids. He's
Yeah,
got a boo-boo on his hand. I'm going to have to do another video at some point of the twins, so you guys can see the twins. I do have one video. I'm not even fixed up today. This is just my wiry hair. It's not even fixed the way it's supposed to be or nothing. I don't care. I have no makeup on, no nothing. I need to do another makeup tutorial. I thought, should I do a live or should I do makeup today? And it's like, there's just some days I don't feel like putting makeup on. So, this live I'll post. The second one. First one I didn't. Well, thank you. You do too. You got that baby mama shine. I think pregnant women glow. I think women look so beautiful when they're pregnant. They just get up that baby mama glow. I'll get your package out to you soon. I still got to mail out the Valentine's winner. I got shells to her. And then I'm working on building my... I have an idea what I'm going to do for 1K, but I'm going to wait on that for a little bit till I get caught up. My whole thing from the beginning was I wasn't going to do a giveaway clear to 1,000. I was going to do a giveaway just each 100 to 5. Then the next giveaway was going to be 1K, and then a 15K, and then 2K if I ever made it that far. Like I was taking it one at a time. But I kind of flew past 3, 4, and 5 like really quickly. So I'm going to do 4 and 5, which will be my last two until and my 1K. And then my next one won't be until 1,500 if I would make it there. Because I don't want my channel just to be about giveaways either. It just so happened a bunch hit at the same time. I wasn't planning on climbing this fast at the same time as my birth month. Because I noticed when the giveaway was done, like my numbers dropped. And it was like, no! Because I don't want that to be what it's about. Like people commenting dropped, I should say. So I'm going to try to get it back up. But my used bookstore, I'm going to give that one more year. As of May, we'll be going into year 5. Because that's what I told my husband. I wanted to give my business 5 years to get going between the physical store and the web store. If things don't change next year, I'm going to have to close the store. And that's okay, because then I'll just look for my next venture. But I've had a couple people ask me if I was going to put merchandise on my channel. I just don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for that or not. Part of me wants to, but then part of me is, what if it don't sell? So I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. Because I know that I don't want to, you know, like buy a bunch of stuff that doesn't sell when I know that they have a couple... Well, one store I know of, they make it as you order, but I think their prices are kind of high. Because if you can go to Walmart and get a $5, $7 t-shirt, who's going to pay $23 for a t-shirt? I think that's expensive for a t-shirt. What do you guys think?
Love me.
Be nice to be able to find a place that you could, you know, possibly do a $7 t-shirt. But I think 23 is an awful lot. That's what Tree Spring costs. She likes chewing on string, Michelle. She pulls your dad's and pulls him down. Look at this. She keeps stealing her string. She said, I'm gonna pull your string. She's so ornery.
Come here. Get out of there. It's his binky.
So what do you guys think about merchandise sold on YouTube? I want some feedback. Aww. Do any of you know how merchandise works on YouTube? I mean, does it sell decently or no?
You good?
I don't know.
You good? You good?
Hi, Pappy. That's what everybody calls my dad, Pappy. I did too, but I don't know if my channel really has the right content. Like, I don't know, some do family vlogs, which I think is good. Mine is a variety. It's not really like one area. Even though it's called Tammy's Makeup Treats, it really wasn't supposed to turn out to be just about makeup. I like doing product reviews, but I also like my Serene Sunday readings, and I like doing my bookstore books. But when the business shuts, I don't know what I'm going to turn to after that. I'll have to think about it. But I had thought about maybe adding a couple items for merch. I just don't know if my channel is strong enough for that. I think if a person has like a consistent content, that merchandise is good, but I really don't have a consistent content. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if my channel is ready for that. Well, thank you. I thought about doing t-shirts and stuff, but I don't know. I think the places that provide that stuff is kind of high. But I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know what I would design for them. First, when I first came on, I thought it'd be cute to do my bookstore name, but if the bookstore closes, I'm going to have to think of something else. Tammy's Makeup Treats is good, but I don't know. I don't know. I know. I don't know. And do you have to have your name as a business? Like, I've noticed some people that sell merch, their names are their registered names. Like, they're a business name. My bookstore is a business. I have a license for it. But I don't have a license for my channel. And I was watching this one video where this lawyer said something about having an LLC, like you should brand your name on your account. And I don't know. I know Tammy's Makeup Treats isn't taken, but I don't know what I would do with that. A lot of times it's not that people wear your name, though. It's usually people have accounts with other types of name on it. I do have a company here that made a t-shirt for my bookstore, but if I close it, that's not going to help. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. She designed the back of a t-shirt and put the name of my bookstore on it, and it looks really cute. It's got a worm busting out of a book. It is so adorable. But I don't know if that's what I want my merch to be. If I kept my store open, I would, but I don't know if I'm going to or not. It's a lot of work. And people, they drop off some of the terriblest in shape books that look like they've been through the ringer. I had to recycle so many books last year because they look like they'd been, I don't know, water leaked on, a lot of them, and they were no good. I can't resell stuff like that. But when Kindle's Nook came out, people were throwing books away, so a lot of them were bringing them to my store because I didn't want them to throw them away. I said donate them to the Goodwill, the Salvation Army, me, or recycle them. But just don't throw them in the dump, because you would not believe how many people have done exactly that. Very, very wasteful. And so people started dropping them off to me, like if they would move, or there's a guy here locally, he works for the church, and after the family takes out, when people pass away after family, you know, they'll ask him. He takes a lot of the furniture that's left over to, what do they call them? Not yard sales, but, oh God, I can't even think right now. The bigger ones. Where you take them to, oh, come on. I can't think of the name of them. He'll take and sell off what's left over. I don't know what happened to your I didn't do that. YouTube did it. I don't even have a mod in here or nothing. Took your sentence away, cat. But, Flea market. He takes all the furniture and stuff to the flea market with the family don't want, and then they give him a cut of 40-60. They give him 60% and take 40 or whatever he sells. So sometimes he'll come across places where they have books left, and where does it come? My house. And there's been quite a few people it's moved lately. Like this one girl came in. I'm the unhoarding place. She said she was moving and she had a tower. I'm talking of like 8 levels filled with nothing but DVDs or CDs. Music CDs. She brought the tower and all the CDs and said, take it. I've had people dropping off albums, vinyl records, 8-track tapes, VH. I have so many VHS tapes, it's ridiculous. The people just drop off at my house with my bookstore. So what I do is I put them in the physical store, plus I have them in this bookstore and more.com, but I only sell within the United States because of shipping. And what I have left over, we have a community yard sale, and I'll put them in there too. And so I sold a good bit last year at the community yard sale. I sold more there than I did in my store. But I just don't want to be in a hoarding place. You know what I mean? I've got a garage full of books. Last year there was about, I don't know, 17 skids in there. It seems like I had a lot. I emptied 3 skids over the summer. And plus I was posting them in the bargain sites on Facebook to try to sell them off. But I'm telling you, you would not believe the books that comes in my bookstore that people were throwing away. Perfectly great shaped hardbacks with perfect white pages. Plus junk books. I mean, I get all kinds, but it's a lot to go through. But I love it. It's just I'm not making the money I want to make. I mean, it's like, it's not a guaranteed income. Like, you're not even making minimum wage. You know what I mean? And I thought through the winter months, when it's cold, like my dog can't go out at certain temperatures, I could use, you know, the website to help. But, you know, I've had that website for the entire year and not one book is sold. Not one book. So I don't know if it's the prices or because I'm new or because, you know, the website doesn't have shipping built in and I had to include it in the prices. But when I looked and compared to Amazon, my book prices aren't higher than theirs. It's about the same. Maybe even a little lower in some areas. But I don't know. I don't know why people are not buying. Maybe it's because they're used books and maybe they don't feel they're worth that. I don't know. But, or they're just not selling because people like Kindles and Nooks, or they just don't have time to read anymore. I know since I've been on YouTube, I've had a hard time reading. I'm so busy keeping up with everybody's channels. I don't have time to read a book. But I do get a lot of stuff in it. And I mean, you can go online and you can Google a lot of stuff. But sometimes, I mean, to me, I just like having a real book. Like, you can Google individual recipes, but I still think that if you have a cookbook in front of you, you're going to see a little bit more, and it's right there. You don't have to waste ink to print it. It's already printed. You know what I mean? Like, I have my pros and cons. So I don't know if people just aren't reading that much anymore, but they do have book channels on YouTube. They have girls that have, you know, they do like readings and they show their bookshelves. So that there's still some that read physical books. It's just mostly the latest ones, though. It's not ones that's already been, you know, like the older ones. I don't know. Okay, so back to baby talk. Do you have a diaper bag? Are you still here? Jessica. You have a diaper bag? Any of that stuff bought? I don't even know if she's still in the room. Or the stream, I should say. Do you have a diaper bag? I can't wait to see everything you get. When you could bring your baby shower home, are you gonna have it live, or are you just gonna do it later after everybody leaves and come on and show us what you got for your baby? I hope we get to see everything you get. If you can't do it live during the baby shower, I hope you can tape it later. It'd be so cute. Aw, well that'll be nice. Do you have a person that's going to write down everything you get too for your thank you cards? I hope you get lots of good stuff. The one thing though that I always wanted that we couldn't get was a clone, so that I could take a nap while my clone fed my kid. Oh, well that's good. I know when I first came from the hospital, my mom put a note on the door, "Mom and baby sleeping." And when the baby slept, I slept, and you'll feel that way when you first come home. You should rest just as much as your baby, especially if you're breastfeeding, because you'll be tired. Never ever try to get stuff done when your baby's sleeping. Try to get your stuff done when your baby's awake, because you will wear yourself out. I couldn't do it when they were newborns, but after they got a little bigger, I can't remember if it was when they were like 6 months maybe. They got, I don't know, whatever the baby swing level was. Um, I remember well, actually, both my kids liked their baby swings. They got to a certain age, and I would wind up the baby swing while they sat in it for a little bit so that I could get some stuff done, like a load of laundry and this and that. So that was kind of like a little bit of a babysitter. And draft is what we used to wash the baby's clothes. We first brought them home so they didn't have allergic reaction to our detergents. But my daughter said there's another one out that's a lot cheaper than the draft. I think it was a white bottle. I don't know if it was a white Tide. There's something white in one of the bigger name brands, but it's cheaper, or Purex or something like that, that has nothing in it. And she said it was just as good to use as the baby draft, but I can't remember what it was. All my daughters love their swings. I got all kinds of pictures. I'm going to have to do I thought about doing this on my last anniversary, but I didn't get a chance to do it, is maybe do a live and go through some of my photo albums and share when me and my husband met, pictures of us when we met for maybe our 30th next year, wedding anniversary. But I didn't want to do it with music and just show pictures. I want to actually go through the albums and hold it up and talk to you guys. But I thought maybe doing something like that, maybe another time I'll do like my kids' baby albums, photo albums. Go through and do some pictures and show you what my babies look like. Because I know some people will put music to it and they'll show different pictures, but I really wanted to do something different. My luck, I would pull the pictures out and forget where they go. So I didn't want to do that. Although it would be kind of cute. You know how some people have those live things that sit on their I think my mother-in-law has one. It's one where she has inserted pictures and it continually changes. I don't have one though. But that would be kind of cute too. I could probably do that in music, but I don't have one. So I'll just do it by hand. But yeah, I think it'd be cute to show everybody how cute me and my husband looked in high school. And then now, because we met when I was 15 and he was 16. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people take that wrong. They think that we have only had sex with just each other and got married and have that. We don't have that. That's not, we didn't have a happily ever after. We had a rocky relationship because we met in high school. We kind of dated off and on. We had breakups, got back together, breakups, and then he went into the Navy and I married somebody else. So we had a rocky, because our lives were taking different directions. Like we had to grow. And then he left the military and stayed up in New York, and then I stayed back here. But then I divorced my first husband, and my cousin actually ran into him and told him I got divorced. And then he showed up on my doorstep later. So it's funny how our relationship has been. Because, you know, he dated other people and so did I in between. But it was like how we found our way back together full circle. It was crazy. And then we got married 1989 and we've been together ever since. But it's just funny because, you know, my parents weren't so bad at, they kind of let us find out our relationships to, you know, for ourselves, where it was more his, you're too young to settle down and blah blah blah. You know, I don't know why parents got to interfere. You know, I don't know why they just don't let young love happen if it's meant to be. And they kind of, but I do understand to a way, because, you know, we were kids. We didn't, it's not like we were setting jobs and had our lives yet. I think parents just are afraid when they've struggled, their kids are going to turn out the same. And they kind of push them to establish themselves first in a career before they think about a family. So maybe that's what his parents, I mean, it's not like I hate him for it or anything like that. It's just, I felt like my parents were more open to letting us make our own decisions than his were. They were more controlling. But, you know, it is what it is. He had to have his life experience, and so did I. And then we found our way back together. And I mean, I get along with my in-laws. It's just, I just think they were harder on him. My parents were more, stand up for what you believe in. And believe me, I do. Very opinionated. And if I'm passionate about something, I will fight you tooth and nail for the truth. I'm a truth seeker type person. I don't sweep stuff under the rug. I face everything head on. Even if it slaps me back sometimes. But someone asked me in a questionnaire what my biggest accomplishment was. And I think some people will say their job or their degrees. And to me, life's ups and downs is the biggest challenge. Because you go through so much in life. Mr. Beaute! So to me, that's, you know, that's just how I feel. You get smacked down sometimes. You just got to pick yourself up and keep trucking. How are you doing, Beaute? Are you being a good boy? I need to watch some more of your videos. I bet you I have watched, if I sat down and counted, about 60 new people's videos this week. It is hard keeping up when you get into the thousands. But I'm trying. I do like a lot of your content, though. I mean, you really put some stuff out there. I know what you're saying. You think that your relationship is bad, and then you find out somebody that's in something worse. Like, for instance, I know someone who got married. She was happy. They had a house. They had a dog. She was just ecstatic. And let's just say the police showed up at her house one day and she was in for a big shocking surprise. That her husband was actually being a you-know-what online, showing things he shouldn't have been showing to minors. And he was arrested, and she lost everything in one day. And had to start over. She was a mess. So you think, when you have a bad scrap with your boyfriend or your husband, or you have a fight or something, and then you see something like that. I felt so sorry for her. My heart went out to her. She was one of the nicest people. But you just never know. And I always tell myself I could have it worse when something bad happens and we don't get along over something dumb. And I think, well, at least my husband doesn't have a jail sentence. I mean, he can be hard-headed sometimes, but he's not that bad. So, or having hit the circumstance she had to go through, which was terrible. I can't even imagine. I swear to God, if a cop would have come to my house, I don't know. You wouldn't even know what I want to do. I would have done. But I do know that there's a lot of people that live life in denial. Like, I've noticed here lately, 2 big things that have changed. People lack respect for others. We have a piece of property that a tree fell on. And, like, this neighbor just thought they could just go up there and start chopping away a tree that's right on my property. When it has, and I went down and caught him. And I'm like, what are you doing? The tree is not on your property. It's on my property. Get off my property. Who gave you the right to help yourself? It's like people just don't have no respect for other people. Like in my day and age, I don't know about you guys in places where you all live. We could walk the lane where I lived and all the houses would be unlocked and we knew it. We didn't go in their houses because we knew better. Heck, some of my neighbors, I even knew where they kept their keys. The extra key sets was like above the door or under a mat. Like, we knew our neighbors and we just knew not to do those things. And it's like nowadays you can't have your house unlocked. You can't even sleep with your car doors unlocked. There's just no respect. And then you have people who see the truth right in front of them and they're just totally in denial. They sweep it under the rug, act like nothing ever happened. I hate people like that. I get really annoyed. I can't say I hate. I just get annoyed. Because I'm too much of a truth seeker and I think sometimes it gets me in trouble. People take my forwardness sometimes as, I guess, being the B word. But it's really not. It's like, unless they know how to take me, they wouldn't know. Like, I had one girl, for instance, okay. When I started on Facebook, we started a group page there. And there was a girl that joined it, okay. This is probably one of my haters that gives me a thumb down all the time, and I really don't care. Because it was her fault. She came into my group page, and I had 3 moderators of my page. And I started to do the giveaways. So I did them on Instagram, though. And I had a member of the month gift I would do there. Plus, this is before I started YouTube. And so when I started my YouTube channel, if I did a giveaway on Instagram, I told him on Instagram. But on YouTube, I want him to have an Instagram just to have a way to direct message them. Because a lot of people make fake accounts and they try to hide. I noticed that even on Instagram, there was some people that entered giveaways that have fake accounts. Well, this girl, she just thought because she was on my Facebook page, I was going to fix it for her to win. And I go, I'm sorry, but that's not how I do my giveaways. Well, why should I enter if I'm not going to win? I said, well, then don't. But if you think that you're going to enter my giveaway and you're just going to win because you're on my Facebook page, I don't fix my giveaways. They're honest. And so she was just like, so she dropped it. And this was the back to school one that I first did. And then because she was in college. So then later she goes, I really, excuse me, like all that stuff that you're giving away. I said, well, then enter. You have just as much chance as anybody else is winning. And they have just as much chance as you do. So she started getting mouthy with me. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm not going to have this fight with you because you either enter or you don't. I really don't care what you do. And she got mad. So I kicked her out of the group because I got tired of her being argumentative. And so she went and told the other moderators in the group that I kicked her out for no reason. I said, no, I didn't. I said, just because I don't print screen or whatever, screenshot, I can't even do that with my phone. This new phone I have, it just doesn't do it. My last phone did it, but this one doesn't. And I even Googled about this phone, and it just doesn't do it. And I'm not a gossipy type person where I know that there's a lot of people that have drama channels on here where they have the receipts and they prove and they follow people and they snapshot. I don't do that kind of stuff. So it was my word against hers. And I go, but the thing is, one of my moderators come at me and I said, listen, this is my group page. Even though you guys make it a page, because that's how I feel. For one thing, being the group page owner, why are you questioning me? If you trusted me enough to join my page in the first place, you wouldn't be questioning my motives. You'd be questioning why she got kicked. And if you're going to come at me, then you don't deserve to be a moderator on my page, because I don't make decisions drastically. I make decisions truthfully. And just because I didn't tell them what she was doing behind their backs in private messages and direct messages through Instagram, the way she was talking to me about my giveaways, they were questioning both of us. And I'm like, but one of them's my relative and another moderator I've known for years through the web. So to me, I feel that your friendship isn't as important to believe in me, and you're believing a girl that just joined a group. The group, that says a lot about your friendship towards me. So, because I'm not one to pick sides and tell people they have to pick sides, but I shouldn't have to explain myself when I created the page. So I never told them what she did. I just said it was a disagreement. I just told you guys, but they don't know that. So ever since I blocked her, I kept getting a thumbs down on my YouTube videos. And I know it's her, and I don't care. She's blocked off of my Facebook page. And it's all because of the giveaway, by me not fixing it for her. So you have people that do that kind of stuff. They're very, very, tricky behind people's backs. And that's just not me. So, and I like doing drawings by hand because I don't know how you do it when you get bigger. Because I know one girl had like thousands of people, and it's not like you can do that. My husband said he would pick a number. Like, pick a number for each individual person's name that enters, and then do a drawing of the number. I said, but that's still pieces of paper. That's still a lot of people. I mean, I guess you could do it if you count the people maybe in your comment section. That'd be the only way you could do it. Because let's face it, if you get to 1 million people in a drawing, that's a lot of little pieces of paper. Yeah. But the thing is when people do this gleam, this is what I'm trying to tell them. When they do this gleam and they do this Rafflecopter stuff, I don't know how they can tell a fake account from a real one. Because if you're signing up with an account, okay, say like you, say you have 5 channels on your YouTube account. How are they going to know that that's fake? There's no way to tell that. If you're signing into a different email every single time you enter, that's fake. That's manipulation. And I don't see how that those can tell the difference. But if you're like how I told was this is just me though. If you're on Instagram, one girl that I had entered, she had her dad enter. Yeah. She had her name entered, which she had pictures and, stuff on her account. Well, then it was her dad that was on another one. And then she had a friend supposedly from school. Well, the funny thing was, this other girl did the same thing. They entered like 3 people with their names. This is before I knew how to do and enter. I kind of mocked someone else where you had to repost the picture because I didn't know what I was doing. I was new to it. So I said put 3 people's names and repost the picture. And hey, Josh. So this one girl did it, and I'm telling you what, two contests over there, Jessica. The first 2 drawings never got in contact with me. That's how I knew they were fake accounts. This person had 3 other people's names. Still to this day, they never contacted me. I gave them 2 days, not 24 hours, 2 days to get in touch with me, and they never answered. And they didn't have no pictures, no nothing on their profiles. So I know they were fake. I just tested it. To be honest, I included all the names. So now what I do is I go through, and if they're private, if they're set to private over on Instagram, this is what I told them. If you are set to private, you have nothing on your account, I'm not entering you. And when I quit doing that, then the fake account stopped. So that's why I'm kind of leery when you do giveaways on YouTube. Unless they can contact me through Instagram, then you can tell the difference. But you can deduct it. And then I noticed brand new people join just because you're having a giveaway. And then when the giveaway's over, they never comment. That's another way of deducting. I don't know how Gleam and Rafflecopter would pick that up. And somebody said it's because they have to sign in. I said, that doesn't make any sense. You're saying they have to sign in with an account, but they can sign in 3 times. It can be 3 different accounts. Heck, I have 2 computers in my house. I could sign in on one computer with one email. I could go downstairs. Of course, I don't have multiple accounts. I only have one. But if I did have another account on another email, I could sign in on my other computer, and they would never know I was signed in twice. How would they know? So that's why I don't trust Gleam. I don't trust these things, and I rather do the drawings by hand. But I have a couple people that don't like that I do that. And I'm like, sorry, but that's how I do my drawings. Because I've noticed none of the people, I bet you since I started Instagram, there's been 1,000 giveaways that me and like a bunch of other people have joined, and none of us have won those giveaways. So that's what's making me wonder if those drawing types that they use are picked. Some won't even tell you who won. I've ran into a couple that were faked doing giveaways. One girl was busted badly. She had never on any of her giveaways would tell people who would win. She never did a live about it, nothing. And they said that her giveaways were all fake. She never, ever, ever, nobody ever claimed to have won her gifts. She was just wanting people. So even giveaway people, you don't know. But I said, you know what? I know I'm for real. I know Sunbury Housewives is for real. I know Becca Beauty's for real. I know that there is quite a bit of people. But I won't do mine live because I get distracted. Like if people were in here talking to me and I'm trying to do a drawing, I would rather do pre-recorded. Because I don't get distracted. I lose train of thought easy. So I rather just pre-do it, re-show everything and the video and draw a name. I like how I do my drawings, and I'm so happy that so many different people have won. And I love it that the people on my thread are not greedy. The people so far, when they have won one on my birthday, they can enter all of them. I don't have any rules. I mean, some people will say if you win, you can't be entered for 6 months because they try to be fair. I don't have that rule. One person won my first giveaway one because I had 4 for the month of January for my birthday. And she's like, well, since I won this one, I'm not going to enter the last 3. That goes to show respect. Somebody that didn't enter the next 3 because they could have. Just so that other people can win. I thought that was so awesome. So I had 4 different people win in January. And then the last 2 was completely different because everybody could enter all of them. The only giveaways I don't enter is if I have the stuff. Like, people were having Jaclyn Hill palette. I have it. I just haven't done a review on it and opened it yet. Some people have the Modern Renaissance. I have it. So, you know, unless I hit pan and I've used it all and would need another one, I won't enter that one. I'm not that greedy that I will enter giveaways of stuff I already have. It's always stuff I don't have. That's how I do mine. I mean, if you had a friend that maybe wanted that palette and you wanted to enter to win for someone else, maybe, but for me, I wouldn't do it if I had it already. Now, if my daughter said, Mom, I want that palette, then I might enter for her and give it to her, or someone as a Christmas gift, maybe. But most of the time, I don't enter it if I have it. That's just my thing. I would rather somebody else win that don't have the money to get it. I don't hurt for money that way, so I can't say that. Now, if it's like, what's that one, Natasha Denona, what she charged like $125, I will never pay $100 for a palette. I don't care who sells it. I will never pay that much for eyeshadow. So, if it's a Natasha Denona or somebody really high that I can't, you know, that I would never pay that much for, I might enter one of those. But I never win them. Because you got to figure a lot of these higher ones, it's the lower number ones you want to get into. Because if you get into a million subscriber giveaway, the odds are like the friggin' Powerball that you're not going to get it. But I mean, I've entered some of them because my chance is just as much as the rest of them, you know what I mean? But I've never won a huge giveaway, not like a big one that I've seen given out. Daniel Ray does a lot of big wins. Shopper Mandy does a lot of big wins. And see, that's me. I would rather help people that I know can't afford it. And I know that the ones who've won all of mine have been people who don't, like one girl, she still lives at home. She doesn't even have a job yet. Another one I was so tickled for, she's just a young kid in school just starting in makeup. She was so ecstatic. She says, me and my dad were watching it, because she's one of the underage kids, and I always say make sure your parents know. She says, me and my dad were watching it, and when my name was called, I jumped off the floor. And so I was excited for her too, you know. And then the mom that won my giveaway back to school, she's got 4 kids, and she says, I was trying to figure out how to juggle all their school supplies, and she won a nice box. It was huge. That was probably the biggest giveaway I'd done. I had markers, crayons, notebooks, paper, because it could go for a younger kid or it could go for a college kid. Note cards. I did a whole video. It's one of my oldest videos. I even had clips for your chip bags in case you were away at college, because I really didn't know what to put in it, because you don't know what age is going to win. So mine could have went for the younger kids or college student. And I said, and if you know a kid, well, then you can share the, you know, the crayons and stuff with. But Daniel Ray is who got me started. If you watch Daniel Ray's Back to School, she's amazing. But she does hers more towards either or too. She'll do Sharpie markers, all different colors, markers, clear to makeup palettes. Of course, hers is a lot bigger because she makes a lot more money. She's a makeup artist, and plus she makes a good bit through YouTube. She gets free PR, but she shares her PR back with people. And I would do the same. I mean, I did a review. Oh, I know. I love her too. I did a review on lotion. It was what did I do with it? I don't know where my one tube is. I have one tube of it left. Here it is. Okay. They sent me 2 tubes that looks like this. Little ones. See how little that is? It like fits in my hand. They sent me 2 different kinds in this size. And they sent me 2 giant ones. Like bigger ones. Well, when you do, here's the other little one. I had 2 little ones that look like this. Here's both the little tubes. This is from the 0.8L app. And they sent me the giant sizes. Well, if I did the little ones, why do I need the big ones? So they were still sealed, and I shared them in my giveaways. So if there's something that I get for free, I also share. I mean, I'm not going to keep it. Those 2 little tubes were enough to get a review. So pay it forward. Somebody said that in one of their videos, that if you don't use some of the makeup, pay it forward. So they say just don't sell it, but put it in your giveaway or give it to someone. So that's pretty much what I tell people to do with mine. So if I, so Danielle Ray is so ungreedy that way. She'll get a lipstick and, you watch her. She'll say, I have this already, so this will go in a giveaway. And that's how I feel, is like, she's given back to people. And I love it. It's from her that I learned how to do my giveaways. And if people think, I had a couple people come at me saying, oh, you're just buying people so your channel will grow. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's because I do want to show appreciation. And to me, there is a difference. When you're on Instagram, because I did change. Instead of reposting the picture and saying inviting 2 friends, that's somebody after numbers. But you notice some people that do giveaways over there will say, like BoxyCharm does it, and Huda Beauty's got one, or no, not Huda Beauty. Who else did one? Some of the bigger companies will say, just put this emoji below and comment, or they'll say put 2 people you want to share it with, but they don't ask you to repost their picture, or they'll say just comment below. And when I started seeing that, I thought, I don't have to tell them to hashtag or repost the picture. I find that annoying, constantly have to repost people's pictures. But I do know that Danielle, I like how she does her giveaways. She's the only one I've seen this do this. She actually did a live on her YouTube, or did a YouTube video where when somebody reposted her pictures, now this might work. No, you know what she did? Instead of drawing from a bag like I do, this is another smart way to doing bigger numbers that I saw. She'll have them repost her picture and tag her name in it. And you know what she did? She went to where they were tagged, and she says, okay, I'm going to scroll through this, and she picked one, and that's the winner. That was actually smart, because you don't have to write nothing down. So I might end up doing that maybe, but it's kind of hard to do that when you have people on YouTube. But that's what she did. She told her YouTuber people to enter through her Instagram, and she randomly picked who reposted. So that was kind of smart, because when you get up into thousands and millions, you don't have to worry about picking names. That would probably be the most legit way of doing it. Because people with fake accounts usually don't repost. It's the people with the main accounts that repost with 2 fake friends. You see what I'm saying? So she kind of did that wisely when you think about it. But anyways, I just started telling people to comment below. That's what I said. You know, leave your Instagram comment below on YouTube and you're entered. Because there was a lot of fake accounts on Instagram. Not saying there wasn't a couple that I found on YouTube. But what I do is this. I have a list, and a lot of people don't know this. It's not around me right this second. It's on my kitchen table. I have a list of everybody who comments in my comment section. I have your name, everybody's names, and every time you comment, you get a little stick figure since I started my YouTube. This was smart. So, when I do a giveaway, and it's, to me, this is still fair. If your name is not on that list with a bunch of little marks, then you just join for the giveaway. Or it could be just a new person that joined your channel. I look at the content on their channel, see what they have. And that's how you do it. If you think the person has a fake account, they don't go in. And that's just how it's done. And I think that's fair to the people who have been with you the whole time versus people that have no content, no picture, no nothing. To me, that's a fake account when it comes to the giveaways. But I do have a couple people that have followed me with those type of accounts just because they don't want to do content, but they've been consistent. So I know they're not fake. You know what I mean? You can just tell. It's a matter of deduction. But so far, all of mine have been fair. All the people I know are real are in it. But I'm getting ready to have 5 and 6, or not 5 and 6, 4 and 5 separate. And then I'm working on the 1K. Now the 1K, I'm going to gear it more towards male and female. Because I noticed there's a lot of males that have been coming in and commenting here lately. Even though it's a makeup channel. So I think when I do my 1K, I'm going to take it either way. And whoever wins, that's how I'll base it. So, if the male wins, he gets the male. And I won't say what they are until the winners are picked. I'm going to do a secret giveaway for my 1K. I guess I could tell. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. Because people might not enter if you don't tell them what you have. But I could say it's a secret giveaway. And if you're male, you'll get something. And if you're female, you'll get the other thing. You think people would enter a secret giveaway? You know, that's kind of different. I think most of the giveaways, people always show what people are going to get. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just leave it as a surprise. I think it's what I might do. Because I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that on my channel. I've never seen anybody just say, okay, I'm having a 1K giveaway, enter, and it'll be a surprise. So if you enter, you'll know what the surprise is. If you don't enter, well, then I guess you won't until it's over. But I want to do something for the guys, too. Mine's been mostly female-oriented. Unless the guy's into makeup, because most of mine's been about makeup. But my 1K, I want to do something different. Yeah, but it's kind of hard. I think I'm going to. I'm going to say, you know how people like to open up a mystery box? And I bought one of those. I got lucky because it was filled with elf makeup, thank God. But, I'm going to say, instead of a mystery box, it's going to be a mystery prize for the 1K. And we'll see who enters. I want to see who would enter for a mystery. I'm kind of curious. But it's a good mystery, though. I'd enter it. If it was me. But we'll see. I want to do something different with my 1K. Something I've never done. So we shall see how it works. But anyways, I can't wait to see what you get for your baby. It's going to be so exciting. Little mama. You ready to be a mama? You ready to hold your little bumpkin? Seems like we're always cautious with our first. Like the doctor will say, make everybody wash their hands before they touch your kid. You're always going to be sensitive. My first, I was like overcautious. And then when you have your second, you're so used to your first, you're like, oh, who cares? But it is wise to have people wash their hands before they hold the baby, just because they're adapting to germs. But my mother-in-law, she was like, well, I want to take her to the carnival, and I want to put her on a Ferris wheel. And I'm like, she's an infant. I mean, like, hello, you don't take an infant there. They got to be a certain size before they ride that. She wanted to do crazy stuff. And it's like, you know, it's one thing to be, you got to be picky when it comes to the germs, yes. You don't have to overly do it, though. And you want to be a little picky when it comes to their food. Only because, like, back in the day, there was no such thing as all this baby food and this and that and the other. And it's probably why kids died so young. Because they couldn't handle a lot of stuff. Like, when my mom wanted to start my oldest on mashed potatoes, it didn't bother me because she was getting to the junior baby food point. But you do want to stick as close as you can because, like, shellfish, they could have allergic reaction. Peanuts, they could have allergic reaction. You don't want to give them that stuff too soon. You do want to be cautious about all that stuff, and don't let people tell you anything different. So instead of being argumentative with people, what I did was this. I would listen to about 10 different people. One person would tell me something. Another person would tell me something different. If you're not sure, go to WebMD. Talk to your pediatrician. And make your own choice. You can always listen and say, But at the end, you're the mother. You're going to make the choice. So, you know, it's just, but I do know shellfish and peanuts are the biggest things. Like, when Jade had the twins here, I had shrimp one day. And I had asked her if they had tried it, and she said no. She says, but they are getting to the age where they can have shellfish. But she says, I kind of wanted to wait. She says, but we'll go ahead and try them today, since they were a little older, of course. So they both ate a couple pieces of shrimp. The girls both liked it, but then one had allergic reaction later. So she just didn't give it to her. It wasn't bad, but those are the two main foods from what I have watched with other mothers, you know, is peanuts and the shellfish. You want to be really cautious with that until they are of the appropriate age. But other than that, I mean, just listen to your doctor. And there's so much information out there. The best handbooks my daughters both told me was the ones I actually showed in my one video. The first year of your baby's life handbook and the newborn handbooks. Both of my kids really liked those books. They even gave them as baby shower gifts to other mothers to be, because they were so good. But other than that, I mean, in the end, you need to make the decision for your child. But just kind of like, don't take just one person's opinion. You know, really listen to different people and, you know, discuss it with your doctor. Look up stuff on Google. There's a lot, and I'm not talking random Google. I'm talking medical Google sites. WebMD is one of my favorites. The Mayo Clinic is another favorite. I really like the Mayo Clinic too. Both of them discuss a lot. They have babies, illnesses. My dog, when I think it was WebMD that I looked up the temperature. The dog shouldn't be outside per size because little dogs can take less than bigger. Like my bigger dog can go out at certain temperatures, little dogs can't. And I liked it because when we had those bad periods of cold spells, it was a place I could go and read things. Another thing I liked about my dog, not this isn't baby related, but Zach. He's got an animal training channel that is so amazing. This guy named Zach, he trains them on everything. And everything he works with has worked for my dog. And they have baby channels. Baby R Us is another channel if you decide you want to do another registry. My daughter loved that one. That channel, it's called Babies, the letter R, and Us. That's another place you can go and make a baby list. They have really cute stuff. Target sells Carters. I bought baby bottles and Carter's baby clothes off of Target for my daughter there. And I can't remember if it was JCPenney's or Macy's that we went in and they had a sale on clothes. I love Carter's baby clothes. Do they have them at Walmart? All I know is Carter's is so cute. And I'll tell you, their baby blankets, oh my God, they are so soft. One item I forgot to put in your box. I'm going to have to mail you a separate. I thought of another item I forgot to stick in your box, and I don't know where it's even at. Oh, well. You'll get a box and another parcel. I forgot to mail you something else. I knew there was something. I hate when I do that. I go to put something together for someone and be like, crap, I forgot something else. I have another baby I'm going to be mailing for later. She's finding out in 9 days what she's going to have, and everybody keeps telling her she's going to have a girl. So, I'm waiting for her to get a little further along. And when she gets closer, I'll do hers later. But I bought my daughter's stuff for her. I have a bigger weakness in the baby section than I do in the makeup section. That's sad. I can go in the makeup section and walk away. I can't do that in the baby section. I go to the baby section, I want to buy everything. It's terrible. I remember one of my friends was having her son. I'm serious. She was opening gifts, and an hour later in her baby shower, somebody that was taking notes, who's that from? Still Tammy. That's how much stuff I bought her. I blew like a whole paycheck on her. She was having a little boy, and it was like, it's awful. I go in the baby section. My husband's like, get over here. I said, but I want to check out the baby section. He goes, no. So I said, too bad. So when I went to the store here the other day, I hit the baby section again. So I got some more stuff for my daughter, too. I got to take out to her house. I gave her one set of stuff already, and I have another little pile of stuff to give her. And then she already had her baby shower. And then she has the bigger stuff. Like the bouncy and all that stuff. She just didn't have the little stuff because she wasn't planning on having any more kids after having the twin girls. So she's good on the bigger, so she just didn't have infant newborn clothes and stuff like that. So she's good with that now. And when people buy you diapers, the best thing to tell them is to buy all different sizes. Because when she had the twins, we had enough money at that point in time, which I don't have that now, but we had it at that point in time that I hit up the Diaper Mom on Amazon. And I got newborn, step 1, and she never had to buy any newborns for the twins. And I don't think she bought step 1 either. We had her covered for both girls the whole time. I think she bought when it was step 2. But we helped them with the twins because we knew how hard it was going to be. Because diapers are expensive. Diapers and formula are your most expensive parts of a baby. They can be totally outrageous. For something they pee and poop in and you throw in the garbage. I think it's sad. Even toilet paper is high. But, I don't know. I just think that you don't know what size your baby's going to be. So sometimes your newborns, they grow out of very fast. It's usually the ones up. They stay in the longest. Yep. But Amazon Mom is what it was called. If you get the chance, compare your Walmart prices to your Amazon Mom when it comes to the diapers. Because if I'm not mistaken, Amazon Mom is cheaper. And it was Pampers that I had her build up in. Because Amazon Mom, you can buy it by quantity or you can have it delivered to your house. There's something there. There was something you could sign up for or something you could just wing. I didn't sign up for anything. That's if I think she wanted to have them delivered to her house. I just bought it by the quantity and it was a lot cheaper than buying them through Walmart. Because of being a name brand. But I would just compare the Amazon Mom prices, if they still have that program. It was like a program through Amazon. But we got all of them there. And then, yeah. Then other people bought her stuff. But bedding sets comes together. Like when you buy crib sets, she had like 2. She had like 2 sets of bumper pads, 2, like 2 complete sets, but they come together. Like the set come with the bumper pad, the sheet, all the necessities that goes into the bed. And one thing we did was, what did they call them? Not receiving blankets. They call them something else. It's a flat thing that feels kind of thick, and I had my kids in bassinets, and we put that under the sheet, and somehow, if the baby would happen to leak through their diaper or anything, it was okay because that under thing would catch it. I can't remember what it was called though, but I had mine in bassinets. And then when she had the twins, she had a double bassinets, because pack and plays are they're not comfortable. Pack and plays are hard. They have I think they're too hard for kids, but they're nice for napping time, but not to sleep in. I think she had the double. It was like a bassinet that sat at the top, and the baby slept in that, and then the pack and play was underneath. It was like a double, I forget what it was called. But the pack and play to me is like a playpen. It's what a playpen used to be made of. But she took those for our family reunion. The babies took naps in them and stuff, but that's not what our kids slept in. They had normal beds. They had the regular bassinet over top. But my kids were in regular bassinets on the wheels, just because we didn't have them to where the bassinet sat in the pack and play. So I had a bassinet and then a crib. Hers was one I got at a yard sale, and it had a decal of Bambi on it. It was all white. It was so cute. And the rails came down. And then Kristen was in a different one, because I think Jade, we ended up donating it. It was getting up there because it went through 2 kids and then her. But my bassinet, oh my gosh, I won a bassinet on a lottery ticket. My mom was telling me, we can't afford both. You can't afford a bassinet and a thing. So I was like, fine, Mom. And my dad had these 3-number tickets for lottery, and I picked, he had them in his hand. He said, pick one. I picked one, and I won. So I went and got, well, that's why I had a bassinet. Because at the time we had a lot of crib deaths. So I left Jade in the bassinet until her head and feet hit, where she couldn't sleep in anymore. And then I put her in the crib. She did fine. But, her kids did fine. I had 2 cribs that I bought for her twins, and they did okay. She kept them in the little ones as long as they could stand it, and then she put them in the cribs. It's a certain age. It's like, I forget how old they were. She was in hers as long as I could keep her in it, and then went to the crib, and my kids did fine. But I think my bassinet held like 13 babies. Because it seems like I had it, then it held both of my kids, my friend Wendy's daughter, Tristan. Ruth lent it to a friend that held 2 babies. Then it held my sister's baby. And I think she lent it to someone else. So there's 7. And then I got it back. And the cover was a yellow cover. It was lace. And it had the headpiece over it. And the headpiece was broke. The lace thing got ripped. So my sister bought a new cover for it because it got ripped when her friend had it. She gave it back to me, and then I stuck in this. Maybe it was 7 kids it held. So she gave it back to me, and I had it in my attic. Can you believe all those years? And it finally fell apart. And I'm talking, it wasn't like the ones nowadays. This one here was like solid, and it would either lay down or bend up because you could store it. And it had wheels, and it had a regular mattress in it. Like the newer ones, I think their mattresses are only like this big, where this one had a thick, almost like a crib mattress in it, but it was a bassinet mattress. And it finally fell apart 20 some years later. And I ended up throwing it away, but I had that thing forever off of a lottery ticket. A $75 lottery ticket, and it cost me $35 for it. That's crazy. And I bought that in the cover, and it lasted all those years. But now the ones they make, when my daughters got them, they have like these little baskets, and they're made real chintzy. Like the mattresses are only like this big. They're not like that one was solid. It was rounded, and it had like walls in it. It was really nice. But it lasted a lot of babies, and none of them died of crib death, thank God. So we always called it our special bassinet because no babies died in it. No babies died in their cribs after using it either. So I was glad I got to have it. But, it is what it is. I mean, another thing that helps with, if you're worried about crib death, is I always played a radio. I would have like a little music, and I would turn it down really low and play it beside the baby's beds. I did that with both my kids. Just that comfort of knowing that they heard noise. And then sometimes I would freak out, if they wouldn't wake up at a feeding time. And I'd be like, okay. Because, when you first bring your kid home, it's probably going to not sleep a whole lot. And then all of a sudden, as they grow, you increase their bottle amount and they sleep longer. Well, until you get used to that, it is kind of scary. Especially if you're worried about cribs death. So I would go and wiggle Jade's little butt. I'd put my hand on her little diaper butt and go like this because I'm thinking, okay, she's sleeping a half an hour past feeding. And she'd wiggle around, and then I know she's okay. So, you are like that at first, but then once they get to a certain age, you don't have to worry about it so much anymore. But I know what you mean. It is scary. SIDS is a big thing. And at the time I had mine, a friend of my mom's had lost her. She had her in a crib, and she didn't wake up for feeding. And she went in, and she said, because Mom asked her, she said, I don't mean to probe, but what is it? You know, like and they don't know what causes it, but she said it's like their heart it skips a beat and it forgets to beat. And she said, and when she found her baby, she was laying on her belly and she had her little fist, and you could push and her finger would indent, it wouldn't pop back out. It was just like her total blood circulation shut down. And her finger was like, it was just really weird how she explained it. But when Mom and I were talking about it, it freaked me out. Because I was like, I don't want my kid to die. You know, and there was a lot of that happening around the time Jay was born. Not so much with Kristen, but when Jay was born, I was freaked out. She was my first. So there's no... I don't blame you about the crib thing. Not at all. To want to keep your baby out of it as long as possible. But it really isn't the crib's fault. It just happens to be in the crib when it happens. I think it's an age. But I don't think the crib actually causes it. That's why they call it SIDS instead of crib death now, because it's sudden infant death syndrome. But it is scary. All I know is I kept mine in a bassinet and I kept checking on her. And you try not to worry because you need your rest too. But it doesn't hurt to check on them. When you're awake and you feel that you need to check, do it. That's what I tell the new moms. But we all go through that. But you'll be protective of your first, especially, because you're going through all these feelings. She'll have a relationship with you that's different with your husband, but they're both will be meaningful because you'll be her caregiver mostly, and they build a relationship, especially a little girl with her dad. Mine would pout whenever her dad would leave. She has, and my youngest has my husband wrapped around her finger. I don't blame you. Do you know that you can put her in your room? And that's what I loved about having a bassinet on wheels, is because when my kids were sleeping, I could pull them around the house with me. I pulled Jade everywhere. She'd be in her bassinet, and I would pull her into the kitchen. I would do dishes, and you know what I mean? That's what's great about a bassinet. You can pull them anywhere with wheels. And she slept in my room. The whole time she was in her bassinet, I shared a room with her, and then when she started into the crib, she stayed in our room for a period. And then we put her in her own room as she got bigger, but not... Let's just say she stayed in my room to the point that she was standing up in her bed saying, Mama. Because that's how much I didn't trust to leave her in a bed by herself. And when she could get up, Jade always woke up happy. Both my kids really did. They weren't cranky. She would wake up and she would stare at her mobile and she wouldn't cry. She just would wait, and I would hear her foot kick a toy at the bottom of her bed that had a bell in it. And then I knew she was awake. I'd go, I hear somebody, because she'd be making noise with her toys hanging on her bed. But yeah, she stayed in my room the whole time, and Kristen did too. I think I kept them in my room until I knew that they could at least stand up in their bed. When they were to the point where they could roll over, pull themselves up to the bed rail, then I knew it was okay for them to be in their room. Or you can even do it, because sometimes I was even scared, when they pull themselves up, they can also climb out of bed. And I was always afraid. We had thick carpet, but some people don't. They have a wooden floor. And I was afraid my kids would fall out and bust their heads. So it all depends on the mom. You just don't want to keep them in to the point where they're afraid to have their own room. Like they're afraid to sleep by themselves, because when they sleep with you, There's people that don't realize that they have their babies in bed. I've seen some suffocated that way and die that way too, because the parents would forget they were sleeping with them and they'd roll over and suffocate them. So you don't want to have them in bed with you when you're falling asleep. And you know, I've known people that's had issues with their kids sleeping in their own room because they slept in bed with them after they became a little too old to know better. I kind of didn't do that. I'd have naps with my kids sometimes. When they got a certain age, they had to go to their own room. Because you don't get no peace if you let them sleep with you all the time. Like, you don't have no time for your husband. Because the kid's always right there. Like a radar. So, but it just depends on you. It depends on what you want to deal with. You know, if you want to have your kid in your room until they roll over, you want them until they stand up to the bed where you know they're okay. I don't think there's too many kids I've ever heard of that's died of crib death once they've stood up in their bed. I don't know how late of an age. I've never Googled it. But my kids were standing at the rails when they went to their rooms. But it just depends on how you feel as a mom. You'll make that decision when the time comes. But cribs are nice because my kids love their beds. The two cribs that I bought my twin granddaughters, they actually changed into a day bed, like a single bed. So it was a crib / day bed. They love their beds. Now, Layla's getting to the age where she started to roll off and hit the floor. You know, because Jade put the bed roll up, but it didn't work too well. So Layla wants her mattress on the floor. Because I guess she has dreams at night. And some kids go through that stage too, where they dream of falling. So her mattress now is on the floor, and she's fine with that. But Livia likes hers up. So it all depends on the kid too. Your kids tell you a lot more than what you realize if you listen. So, but it is cute because they had Dr. Seuss. I got them gray cribs. She set up a really cute, it was the Way We Go with the balloon. She had that as their mobile. And her kids never had no problems. She liked it when they became into their cribs because they had more room to stretch and move. And she said, Mom, it's so cute because they look like little peanuts laying in their beds. But she didn't have no issues with any of the bad stuff. So she was happy with that. Now they're turned into day beds. She's got the rails down on both of them now. Because they're like 2. So. But your kid will let you know. I think you'll do good. You seem like you're really in tune. And you like to learn stuff. So I think you'll be a good mama. You will. The only thing I asked my husband is when my daughter came home first, she was up every 2 hours at first, and then it was every 4 hours. And I was like, just please take the morning feeding before you go to work. That's when he was on daylight. I said, you feed her now. It gives me just a little extra sleep. So he did. He got up. He would give her a bottle and he would hold her. And then he would go to work. Let me sleep in a little bit, and it was like freaking heaven. Even though it was still not a complete 8 hours. It was like more like 4, 6, something like that. It was so appreciative. So you just got to find out with his schedule what works with yours. But you'll probably do the most if he's working. But just one time is nice. But it's all good. You'll learn as you go, like most of us mommies do. We definitely don't come with instructions, though, I can tell you that. We're not born with baby instructions. But gassy is horrible. I hope to God you don't have a gassy baby. Gassy baby's so hard. I had one. And it was really rough. My oldest, she had constipation issues so bad that she literally bled when she tried to poop. It was awful what we had to go through. The doctor had her on 3 different medicines to try to, it was like, I can tell you the names. Multi-Supex was one. It was a powder we had to mix into her bottle. Didn't work. They still sell this at Walmart if you go in the milk section, because I saw it the other day and I told my husband I'm in shock. Acidophilus. It's how you pronounce it, and it's in a milk carton. And we had to put that in. And that was the best medicine we ended up using at the end. We had to mix it with her milk. And it was the only thing that would help her go to the bathroom, to have a softer bowel. Even though it still was not where we wanted it to be, it wasn't as bad as what it was. And it is horrible. Because when they can't go and it hurts, they hold it, and that makes it worse. And they don't recommend to a certain age to use enemas or anything, because what happens is they'll wait till they're a little older. They don't like doing it with infants, because a lot of times as your baby's growing, if you keep using enemas, they don't learn how to go to the bathroom, and it actually is not beneficial to them later. So that's why they hold off from doing that until they're older. And I had one grandson go through it, and it was horrible. He went through the same thing Jade did. And when she gave him enemas, when he got a little older, his other grandmother, it took him a while to be able to go to the bathroom on his own, because she gave him too many and never told his doctor, because she's weird like that. And it caused him a lot of issues. And then finally, he kind of grew out of it as he got older, but it made it hard on him. Where she could have used, like, the fiber gummies and things when he was a toddler, because it worked fine at my house, but she was too lazy to give it to him at hers. Sometimes I don't understand people. But both people have to be on the same wavelength. Like, if you're doing something for your kid and another grandmother wants to keep that child, they need to follow what you're doing with that child. Because if they don't, it screws up their whole schedule, especially when it's medicine. That's something I was very firm on. That if my kid was taking a medicine, it's not staying with you unless you listen to the instructions. Because sometimes you got to put your foot down with us, the grandmothers, because they don't want to listen. They think everything's like their day, and it's not. So you got to listen to what your doctor says. So that's what, I was real strict when it came to medicines and stuff. But she did better later. She grew out of it, but it was horrible what she went through as an infant. Always had stomach pains. Gassy babies are definitely not fun. So you were showing a new product in your one video that somebody bought you for gassy babies. And see, I'm sure they've brought out a lot of stuff since then, because I'd never heard of that gadget. You held it up and you were saying for gassy babies, and I was like, I never heard of that. So maybe, they are coming out with new stuff to help, where they don't have to rely on medicine so much. Because I know, like, my daughter had croup a lot because of where we live. We have lots of pollution. And back then, it was a shower. You just start. I'd take her in the bathroom, and she'd sit with me, and I'd run out my hot water tank just to break up the stuff in her chest. And then they came out with a mister, which I still have the mister here somewhere in the house. You had to put water in this thing, and you plugged it in. Well, now they have a Vicks one. So it's like, when her kids came, they changed stuff all the time. She was like, oh yeah, Mom, we have a Vicks vaporizer now. I go, well, they didn't have nothing like that when your kids were growing up. You couldn't put, like, anything in it. So they're always changing things, which is good with technology, because they find things easier where they're not so reliant on medicines for everything, because medicines cause side effects too. But I've been through a lot with my kids when it came to certain things. Now, Kristen had acid reflux. Jade didn't have acid reflux. Kristen, every time you burped her, she barfed. I kept telling my husband one day, Jess, you'll go through this too. He's holding her above her head going, oh, daddy's little girl. And blah, she just puked all of her formula in his face. I said, Michael, she's got acid reflux. Acid reflux means you can't hold your baby above your head and say, oh, you're so cute, because they'll barf. So he learned his lesson the hard way. So, you know, every kid's different. We had to actually have her x-rayed when she got to a certain age because her acid reflux got so bad that it affected her when she was in school. So when she got to school and she got to the age where she could have it, you could see it. They made her drink something, and we saw the whole thing on her. She had acid reflux. Seems to be a common thing. But honestly, I'd rather deal with acid reflux than gas. Gas, they usually put their knees up to their belly and just scream. That's when you know they've got gas issues. Colicky babies, they just cry every time you put them down. They can't be laid. They have to be carried. My aunt told me that her one son had colic so bad, she even used to smoke. She says, I'd light a cigarette, sit it on the sink, and pace with him. She quit smoking through his colic. She says, because it'd be burned down before I could even get a chance to take another puff. She ended up quitting. I said, well, that's a way to quit. She says, I was so tired. She says, because I had to walk, because I couldn't put him down. So I learned about colic from her. But hopefully your baby will be healthy and you won't have to deal with none of this stuff. But they do say that breast milk's better, so I hope that works for you. With Kristen, I probably could have breastfed, but I didn't because my boobs were so sore. Jade, I leaked so much during the pregnancy that when she was born, I didn't have any milk. I didn't even have to take pills to dry up. Now you can't take pills. They give you they tell you to put cabbage or something in your bra. But with Kristen was different. I actually filled up with milk for the first time and actually knew what that felt like. And it was very painful. And so I ended up just doing... We could do the pills back then to dry up, but for some reason they quit doing it, and I don't know why. I don't know if there was something bad in the pills or something that they were recalled, because you just never know. But Kristen, they had her do cabbage when she had her kid. They told her to put cabbage leaves in her bra, so I don't know. There must be some reason they don't give the dry up pills anymore. But I had them with both, even though I didn't need them for the first one. They wrote me out a prescription, but I never needed them. Jade would have starved to death if I would have breastfed her. But I do think it's a great bonding. Like my nephew's wife, she breastfed her son and her daughter, and they're very healthy. They say they're healthy and smart. She never said anything about them having any gas or issues, like with formula. And I think one of my kids had to change her kid 3 times on formulas. So you got to be careful with the formulas, too, if you do get them. Jade really wanted to. She had the pump and everything. But it was just so much work for her to do it. She decided not to. On her one. 2, she couldn't. One time she was dried up and couldn't, like what happened to me. And another time, she just said her nipples were so sore she couldn't take it. My cousin Patty's a registered nurse, and she breastfed hers, and she said that it was very excruciatingly painful, is what she told me. She says you have to watch everything you eat. If you eat pizza and it's got grease on it, your baby will have the diarrhea because the grease goes right through your milk into your kid. If you got to watch medications you take. Everything that you eat and you do goes through your lactation. So she said you can't smoke, you can't eat greasy foods, you can't eat She said she basically ate like a rabbit. She says, I ate as nutritious as possible because anything off of a diet type of food, kind of like, I think she kind of followed Weight Watchers, even though she wasn't heavy. It's just Weight Watchers, they show you a good guide to eat. She followed the Weight Watchers, and she said, but if I would go off and eat something junky, my kid would have the diarrhea. She said, believe me, it was not fun. So she knew a little bit more to share with us, being a registered nurse. So that was interesting to learn. But it's crazy. But Stephanie, when my niece's wife, she did really good. But then she eats good and stuff too. So she's a real, I wouldn't say fitness. She's just a tiny little thing. And she's just real conscientious about stuff. So, but I do know that she drank Starbucks after the kids came. She said after they were born, they would go to Starbucks sometimes just to stay awake to try to take care of them. But she homeschools. She breastfed her kids. She homeschooled her kids. She's really into her kids. So she's a smart cookie. She gives a lot of good information if people ask her. Wait till your kid gets to the point where they love lights. That's like the stage I think is so investigative. When they start liking their talking toys, their light up toys, anything that catches their attention is so cute to me. I used to buy these little storybooks that open up and played music and flashlights. And for Christmas one year, when Layla and Livia started talking, I bought them dolls. They kind of look like space dolls. Like they had like these mouths on it, but they had voices and their faces light up. I forget what brand they're called. But Livia just loved it. She would squeeze it and the dog would talk to her and she'd talk back. That's how she learned to talk. Like a lot more with her vocabulary. So cute when they have interactive toys. They're adorable. I just hated when they were infants because they can't tell you what's wrong. I hate that. Even my dog, when she was a puppy, I think she had a bellyache here the other day. She kept trying to lay on me. And it's like, what is wrong with you? I just wish they could tell you. But I think you'll do good. I can't wait to see what you get for your shower. What date is your baby shower going to be? I'll have to make sure to mark it on my calendar. So I can see all the great stuff you get for your baby. How Rooney? See just a shower? And when your baby shower is going to be? April 22nd. Good. We'll have to keep in tune so we can watch it. That'll be so exciting. It'll be awesome. But I don't want to keep you too much longer. I think this was a good baby chit chat. And as you go along, you can always start a live on your end. If you have any issues with your baby and you want to talk to people, and that's awesome. That's so cute. I can't wait. We'll get to see your baby grow up. We'll get to see your baby come into the world, and we'll get to see your baby grow. It's just like some of the kids I used to babysit when I was a kid. They're having kids, and it's like, oh my God, these people make me feel old. That's awesome, though. Alrighty, well, I think I'm going to stop the live. I got to go get some other stuff done. But I'm glad we get to have our baby chat. The other one started out as a baby chat and it went off kind of off course, so I didn't post it. But this one I'll post. You have a good night too. Thanks for coming in. Mwah! See ya! And whoever else is ghosting.